Have a seat. Cross your legs in the center of your shins, feet beneath your knees. If you prefer sitting in Virasana, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Shoulders over your hips. Hands lightly on your thighs, upper arms in line with your side ribs. Finding that even balance of the sits bones. Finding the lengthening of the inner groins. From the lower abdomen to the inner knees, from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. A continuous elongation. So it's not just one, let's stretch, let's lengthen, and then stop. It's continuous. A continuous opening. Letting the flesh of the inner thighs descend. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Maintaining that opening, continuous opening of the inner legs. Begin to sense now which side of your body is shorter or collapsed. And as you lengthen through the side ribs, can you seek to even them out? So lengthening through both sides, but perhaps one side a little bit more to even out the two sides. Still releasing the inner legs. Notice as you lift up, many of us immediately grip the groins when we lengthen through the torso. You maintain the lengthening of the inner thighs, the groins, as you lift and lengthen through the side ribs. Maintain the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. And as you lift the side ribs, resist leaning forward or back. That means the abdomen needs to work. If the abdomen doesn't want to work, you'll be forced to lean forward or back. Allow the shoulder bones to move away from the sides of the neck as you lengthen from your armpits to your inner elbows. Notice any changes that are taking place in the breath and the mind as we do these actions. As the elbows draw down towards the floor, gently bring your palms together, thumbs at your chest, palms touching evenly, left to right, right to left. And try and get as many touch points as possible. You don't need to press hard. And the way the palm is formed, the entire palm can't touch. But see if you can lengthen and widen through the palm and lengthen and widen through the fingers so that as much of the finger as possible is creating contact with the opposite hand. As much of the palm as is possible is creating contact with the opposite hand. And then finding that equal pressure, left to right, right to left. And noticing how that affects other parts of your body. Some of you may begin to feel those actions between the shoulder blades. Soften your facial features, rest your eyes into your cheekbones, and go inward, gazing at the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhale it completely. Deep inhalation. Om. Maintaining the lift to the side ribs, lift your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. In the back of your head, gently let your eyes open. Straighten your legs. You have fingertips by your hips if you're on the floor. If you're choosing to be on the floor or have a wide surface, you can take your hands flat. You'll see the toes together, little toes moving back towards you. Shoulders still over the hips. Drop the shoulders down. Ah, that's it. Press the thigh bones down. Lengthen the inner thighs. From the inner thighs through the inner knee, extending all the way through the inner heel, through the balls of the big toes. From the upper inner thighs is also a drawing back. But as you draw from the upper inner thighs back towards the abdomen, maintain that extending through the whole inner leg. The flesh of the inner thighs descend. Draw from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips together. Keep the thighs pressing down. Of course, balance evenly on the sit bones. And if your hands are flat, begin to press into your hands to lift up to the side ribs. Watch those front ribs pushing forward. The front ribs will immediately, for many of us, want to push forward. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body as you lengthen. Separate your legs. Your choice whether you want to be on a lift or be flat. Do ensure that your kneecaps are pointed up and your toes are pointed up. So for most of us, that means you have to turn the thighs in, which helps with the descending the flesh of the inner thighs. And hands can be fingertips by your hips or hands by your hips. Shoulders down. Lengthen from the inner thighs through the inner knees, through the inner ankles, pushing through the balls of the big toes. From the upper inner thighs is also a drawing back, but as you draw back towards the abdomen, ensure that lengthening of the whole inner leg. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Your kneecaps should be the firm kneecaps, not the floppy kneecaps. So the quadricep muscle working very hard from the outer knees to the outer hips. Also the front quadricep from right above the top of the knee, there's a drawing back. Maintaining that even balance of the sit bones, maintaining that work of the legs, lengthen to the side ribs. And again, just as I didn't say it in Dandasana, but I could have, as you lengthen to the side ribs, can you notice which side is shorter? And as you lengthen them seeking to make them even. So for me, that means I need to give a little more awareness to this side here. This side is a little collapsed. So I have to, as I lengthen, I'm just going to give a little bit more awareness on not mirroring, but my real left side, so that hopefully they become, if not even more even. Of course, the front bottom ribs still drawing back, shoulders down. It will help as you lengthen the side ribs and to release the shoulders. It will help to create the same action we had when we were starting off in Sukhasana, cross-leg pose, that lengthening from the inner armpits to the inner elbows and drawing from your outer knees, outer elbows to your shoulders. So now on the floor, George, you have to work a little harder to keep your shoulders over your hips. It's fine to be there, but then you got to do the work. Now take hold of the inner knees, pull straight up, let the feet come together. And if you want, you can take your hands underneath your feet, or you can be here with hands by your hips. or you can take the strap. Press your heels. Low balance heel on the sits bones first. Press the heels. Lengthen from the inner thighs to the inner knees. Move the knees away from each other. Left knee to the left, right knee to the right. From the upper inner thighs, draw back to the abdomen as you maintain that lengthening through the inner legs. Descend the flesh to the inner thighs. Draw from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips together. You might be better off taking a strap, George. Then it's as if your hands are really below. Right? So you can be like this as opposed to holding on to the ankles, although, well, interesting enough, that kind of works. I haven't done it that way before. It kind of works, but I just like this one better. But reach down with your arms. Reach down close to your feet, as if you're trying to get your hands, if you use a strap, imagine you're trying to get your hands underneath your feet, but you can't because you'll end up leaning forward. So my hands here are pretty close to the floor. So keep pressing the heels, excuse me. Balls of the toes are together. Now, look to your left. Look over your left shoulder and move your right knee towards the right. Yeah, I know. Fascinating. I didn't even make that up. And then look over your other shoulder, your right shoulder, and move your left knee to the left. And then look forward and keep your knees moving away from each other more and more as time goes on. Lift up to the side ribs, get the front bottom ribs towards the back body. And even here, lengthening through the inner armpit, the inner arms, armpit through the inner elbows, from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Notice what effect that has. That can help open the armpit chest. And for me, creates more space for the breath. Release your hands, take your hands on the outside of your knees, push your legs together, hold behind one knee, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel, straighten the leg. The other knee, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel, straighten the leg, back to Dandasana. Shoulders down. Move those shoulders down, Bob. That's it. And release. Come onto your hands and knees. You can use blocks or chairs. We prepare for downward facing dog. If you're on the floor or blocks, chairs a little different. But if you're using that, everyone here knows how to do that. So first finger pointing forward, press through the balls of the first finger and thumbs. Rotate the upper arms out. Shoulders over the wrists, knees are slightly behind the hips. Don't sink your front ribs towards the floor. Take your front bottom ribs here towards the back body. Begin that action. Lengthen through the inner arms. So there's a pushing into the floor as you lengthen through the inner arms, lifting your chest off of your wrists. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Keep that length in the inner arms. Press through the balls of the first finger and thumbs as you rotate the upper arms out. Again, pushing into the floor to get that length. Inhale. And on your exhalation, take your thighs back. Take your chest towards your thighs. Take your sit bones towards the ceiling. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Turn your thighs in. Press your thighs back. Let your head go. Let your skull release. Let your head go, Carla. Press the thigh bones back, not just the knees, not just the shin bone, the whole thigh bone, pressing back. Push into the hands. Lengthen through the inner arms, the armpits, and side ribs. Find that length there. Lengthening from the inner knees all the way up through the groins. Lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips. And the front of the leg too, from right above the kneecap. Lift. Lift those front thighs, the front quadriceps up. And as you move your hips towards the ceiling, extend from the center of the calf through the tendon, through the heel towards the floor. On your exhalation, take your chest towards your thighs. Shoulders down still. And then look up, walk your feet forward, and hold your elbows. As you hold your elbows, take your upper arms in line with your ears. Feet hip distance apart. Of course, they can be wider if you want them wider. If your legs aren't straight, take them a little bit wider. Make sure the toes are pointed forward, that the toes are not gripping, that there's an even balance on the 2 feet, or each of the feet. And press the thigh bones back. And as you do it, notice which one presses back first, or which one presses back more. And can you find an evenness? I mean, maybe one still goes first, but can you find an evenness? The next time we do it, maybe you can ensure that they go at the same time, not one goes first, but we're already here. Can you find an evenness with the thighs pressing back? Still lengthening from the inner knees through the inner groins, still lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips, compacting the hips together. Also lifting the front quadricep from right above the kneecap, lifting up through the front quadricep, deep into the body. And as you compact the hips together, broaden across the sacral band, broaden across the lower back. Let your skull release. Let your arms go, hands on the floor, walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Turn your thighs in and press your thighs back. Immediately, use that to lift yourself up. Press through the balls of the first finger and thumbs as you rotate the upper arms out. And push the floor down and away from you to help you lengthen through the inner arms, the armpits, and the side ribs as you press your thighs back. Lengthen through the inner legs, lift the outer legs, lift the front of the legs. And again, noticing, is there a sense of evenness? Can you spread the awareness equally to your legs? Can you spread the awareness equally to your arms? And as you lift the hips up, extending from the center of your calf through the tendon, through the heel towards the floor, and finding an evenness on the feet too. Let the skull release. Can you begin to spread the awareness, not just focus on that part of the body that you feel needs the extra stretch, or the part of the body that hurts you, that, oh, you're praying one day will release. I get it. But for now, can you spread the awareness equally to the 4 limbs? Look up, walk your feet forward, hold your elbows the opposite way. Hips over your heels. Upper arms in line with your ears. Pressing your thighs back, not just the knees, not just the shins. And as you press the thighs back, can you now do it evenly? Start them evenly. And maintain a sense of evenness. As you go to lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, can you do so evenly on the 2 sides? And as you compact the hips together, can you compact them evenly? Bring awareness to both sides. Or perhaps it is a sense of working one side more than the other, and working unevenly to create a sense of evenness. But with the consciousness, with the awareness of that's what you're doing. Lengthening through the inner legs, lifting the outer leg, lifting through the outer legs, lifting through the front of the legs, the front quadricep, lifting. And simply allowing the torso to fall over your thighs. If you work the legs, the torso begins to fall over your thighs. Broadening across the lower back. On each exhalation, allow your chest to move closer towards your big toes. Again, no toe gripping. Let your arms go, hands on the floor, walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Press down through the balls of the first finger and thumb, rotate the upper arms out, press the thighs back. Let's see what memory is there. And again, spreading the awareness to the four limbs. Can you work the arms evenly? Or if you know there's an unevenness going on, working them unevenly to create a sense of evenness. Pressing the thighs back, working to find a sense of evenness, lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips, lifting the front legs, lengthening the inner legs. Can you find this sense of evenness? Can you spread the awareness through all the limbs? And then look up, walk your feet forward. Just immediately sweep your arms back, take your torso parallel to the floor. Extend your arms back, thighs still moving back, chest forward. Slowly inhale and come up. Turn to face the front. Have your feet either together, like them hip distance apart. That's easier to balance with hip distance apart. You can take that. Otherwise, feet together in Tadasana. Toes straight though, especially if your feet are hip distance apart. You have to look down and go, are my feet straight? Balance evenly on the 2 feet. Press the thigh bones back. Notice which one goes first. Notice which one has more of the awareness. Can you spread the awareness to each of your legs? Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Lift the front of the legs as well, from the front of the knee, lifting up. Lengthening from the inner knees through the inner groins. Lifting up through the side ribs without pushing the ribs forward. And again, noticing which side feels more collapsed to you. And can you bring, even though you're spreading the awareness, can you bring perhaps some extra awareness to that side that needs more? Shoulders down. Lengthen from the armpits through the inner elbows. Draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Take your arms out to the sides, drop your shoulders, rotate the arms up. Remember the actions from your armpits. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Are you still balanced evenly on the feet? Are the thighs still pressing back evenly? From your armpits, push your arms up. Shoulders go down as the arms go up. Make sure the palms face each other. Turn your hands out to the side, come down. So watch for a second. If I take the arms up, right? So now my palms face the ceiling, right? So if I take them up and I don't turn the arms at all, I'm just moving in the shoulder bones. You can't see at home, but here, are my palms facing each other? Right? So if they're not facing each other, it means I've begun to turn them out. See that? Not all of you, but some of you are doing that. So I want you to notice that. I want you to keep the tricep moving forward as you take the arms up. And when you get here, your palms should be facing each other. Okay? So from Tadasana, establish your Tadasana first. Balance evenly on the feet, thighs back, lifting through the inner leg, lengthening through the inner legs, lifting through the outer legs, lifting the front of the legs, establish the legs. Watch the knees, Carla. But don't throw the hips forward. when you fix it. Try and isolate the shin bones forward and the thighs back. If it doesn't work, yes, throw everything forward so you don't hurt your knees. But see if you can begin to isolate. So get your legs. Lengthen through the side ribs. Again, seeking an evenness. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Extending through the inner arms. Drawing from the outer elbow to the shoulders. Take your arms halfway up. All the actions are still there. There's still the lengthening through the inner arms, drawing from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Rotate the arms up so the palms face up. If you're not sure, you can look to the left. My left arm up and look to the right. Is my right palm up? Adjust. Take the triceps forward. So the upper arm is still rolling out. Same as downward facing dog, right? And then from the armpits, push up. And then you can double better, Bob. Much better. And then you can look up. Are my palms facing each other? If not, it's okay. Judgment-free zone. No one's in trouble. But if they are, turn your triceps towards your nose to rotate the whole arm until the palms face each other. And then when you know you have it, you can take your chin back to be even parallel to the floor. Balance evenly on the feet. Lengthen through the side ribs, lengthen through the armpits, lengthen through the arms. And as you lengthen from the armpit through the inner elbow, through the whole inner arm, draw from your outer elbow to your shoulder. And remember what we were working on last week, moving the skin to the flesh, flesh to the muscle, muscle to the bone. So squeeze the bone with your biceps and triceps. Squeeze the bone. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Interlock your fingers together. Turn your palms out. So as soon as we do that, we tend to throw the hips forward, we tend to throw the ribs forward, and we lean back. So I'm asking you not to do that. I'm asking you to keep the thighs pressing back, to keep the ribs into the body, and keep to the shoulders over your hips. Push the webbing of the fingers together. Inhale, come up. Try not to lower the chin, chin parallel to the floor. Balance evenly on your feet. Lengthen through the side ribs, lengthen through the armpits. There's still the extension from the armpit through the inner elbow, which continues through the inner hand, the inner wrist, even the ball of the first finger and thumb. And then there's a drawing from the outer elbow to the shoulder. Biceps and triceps grip the bone. And see if you can get that wrist itself, the inner wrist, which is now facing outward, the part of the wrist which right now is closer to the ceiling. Can you move that up? Yeah. And some of you will feel an immediate response in your shoulders when you do that. Release your hands out to the sides, come down. Interlace your fingers together the opposite way. Turn your palm now. Keep your thighs back. Try not to force an adjustment afterwards, but keep your thighs back, keep your ribs in, shoulders over the hips, turn your palms out and strain your arms without throwing the hips and thighs forward, without throwing the shoulders back. Of course, if you did, then adjust. That's okay. Lengthen through the inner legs, lift through the outer legs. Inhale, come up. Watch those thighs, watch the ribs as you come up. Watch the head as well. There's a tendency for the chin to tuck, to move down. Front bottom ribs towards the back body, extending through the side ribs evenly, right? We're still looking for the evenness on the two sides. Opening the armpits, extend your wrist towards the ceiling, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. The biceps and triceps grip the bone. And release your arms out to the sides. Come down. Garudasana. Take your right elbow on top of your left elbow. Cross your forearms. Touch your palms. Take your upper arms parallel to the floor. Forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotate your wrist so the knife edge of your hand faces forward. Move your elbows towards each other. So where the elbows meet, try and squeeze them towards each other. Move your shoulder blades away from each other. Move the back shoulder bones away from each other. And release. Left elbow on top of right. Cross the forearms. Touch the palms. Front bottom ribs towards the back body. Try not to lean back. Upper arms parallel to the floor, forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotate the wrist so the knife edge of the hand faces forward. Push the elbows themselves together. Squeeze the elbows. Broaden across the upper back, shoulder blades moving away from each other. And release. Turn to face the side of the mat. Urdhva arms forward, arms up. Hold your elbows. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, come down. Uttanasana, forward bend. And then let your arms go, hands on the floor. Walk your feet back. Downward facing dog pose. And then of course a chair if you're using a chair, or the stairs if you're using stairs at home. Thighs back. Is there more space in your shoulders? We just did a whole bunch of shoulder work. So keeping the front bottom ribs towards the back body, can you move your shoulder bones away from your ears? Move your shoulder blades towards your waist, lengthening, still lengthening through the inner arms, through the armpits, through the side ribs, thighs back. Lengthening through the inner legs, lifting the outer and front legs, heels down, hips up. And then spread the awareness to the forelimbs equally. Let the skull release. Let the skull completely release. The head dangles like a mango. Look up, walk your feet forward. Sweep your arms back, extend your chest forward, thighs back. Slowly inhale, come up. Come back into Tadasana. We teach a Trikonasana triangle pose. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Take the wide stance, feet below your hands. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen from the inner knees to the inner groins. The legs establish the pose, which is why we talk about the legs more. But the arms are a part of the pose. Can you lengthen from the armpits through the inner elbows, through the inner hand, to draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders? We don't talk about it as much because we're so focused on the legs. But the arms have to be a part of the pose eventually. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press that outer rim of the back heel. That means the back thigh goes back so you can press the outer rim of the heel. The front thigh turns out. As you press the ball of the big toe, watch the front foot, George. Make sure it's pointed to the side. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips together. Are you still lengthening through the inner arms? Are you still drawing from the outer elbows to the shoulders? So now you have to use your awareness differently. Can you keep it on the legs and include the arms? Inhale. Exhale, come down. And then first, just observe. Okay, what state? Are my leg? What's still there? Are my legs still working? Are my arms still working? Before you adjust. And then make whatever adjustments you need for your body. Did you lose it in the legs? Well, then take the back thigh back, press the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Did your torso collapse? We'll rotate the torso. Are your arms working? Extend through the inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. And spread that awareness to the forelimbs. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Other side, right foot in, left leg out. So yes, we have to get the legs first. Back thigh back, from the hip press through the outer rim of the heel. Front heel in line with your arch. So see if we can take your feet further apart, Carla, and then move that heel in line with your arch. Turn the front thigh out as you press the ball of the big toe and lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. And can you keep your awareness on the legs as you include the arms, lengthening from the armpits through the inner elbows, drawing from the outer elbows to the shoulders. And notice what effect that has on the torso itself. Inhale, exhale, come down. Keep your awareness. Keep it all. Keep it all. We tend to get the actions in a pose, and then as we move, we get rid of it all, and then we get into a new position and try and get it back. And you want to maintain. So examine the body. What stayed? Celebrate it. What did you lose? Celebrate yourself for noticing, because a year ago you probably didn't notice it. And if it's the legs, press the thigh back, press into the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, of course, pressing the ball of the front big toe. Do you feel your torso collapsed? Rotate it. Extend through the inner arms. Draw from the armpits through your inner elbows, through the hands as well, and draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. And then reach up through that top arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. So we've been focusing a lot on the limbs, which is good. Yes, we need to, because they control the torso, but we have to make sure that the torso has integrity as well. So we're going to focus on that for a moment. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step. So legs, outer knees to outer hips, lengthen through the inner legs, lengthen through your inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. Really establish that here while you have a symmetry. Building the muscle memory while you have a symmetry. It's a little easier for the brain. Then going left foot in, right leg out, front heel in line with your back arch. The back thigh moves back as you press the back heel, the front thigh turns out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Continue the extension of the inner arms, the drawing from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Now I want you to picture both your shoulders and shoulder blades against the wall and your arms too. Inhale, exhale, slide down your wall. I don't care how far your hand goes, but do not let your shoulders come out of alignment. The only thing that happens is once you're down, that top arm, the palm does turn forward. And then examine. Are the legs doing what you want them to do? If not, adjust. You've heard the instructions enough, you know what they are. Extend your arms. Extend through the inner arms, armpits, through the inner elbows, through the inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. And then spread that awareness equally to the four limbs. Carla, go higher up. Take your, Now lean your whole torso back. Yeah. Do you feel the difference here? Pull yourself up and up, but slide up your wall, slide up your wall. My fault, because I should have had your attention first. But take parallel your feet, take your hands on your hips for a moment. But notice how you give up the pose before you get out, some of us. Getting into the pose is a part of the pose. Coming out of the pose is a part of the pose. And I want you to maintain the poses as you go into it and as you come out of it. Extend the arms. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen through the inner legs. Lengthen through the inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. Right foot in, left leg out. Take the back thigh back, press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh out as you press through the ball of the front big toe. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Keep extending the inner arms. Draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. So awareness on each of the on each of the limbs. Now shoulders, shoulder blades, arms against that wall. Stay in the pose as you slide down. Stay in the pose. Stay in the pose. Then the top arm you can turn so the palm faces forward. Stay in the pose. But notice if you did lose something, it's okay. It's very natural. So you examine your legs. What do you need to adjust? You examine your torso. You examine your arms. And then once you've examined and made your adjustments, spread the awareness, each of the limbs equally. Now coming out of the pose is the pose. Slide up your wall. Keep extending both arms. Keep extending both arms as you parallel your feet. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen through the inner groins, inner arms still lengthening, outer elbows drawing to the shoulders. And then we'll come back into Tadasana and your legs. Jump or step your feet together. Are your legs working? Are your arms working? Is your awareness spreading? Lie down on your mat. Extend your arms forward so you can move anything out of your way. Extend your arms forward, forehead resting.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Hi, it's Seema.
Yes.
Okay, so now Manish and I have a little bit of a debate going. When you're in triangle pose and your top arm, your palm, tell me what you mean by facing forward.
The front of the room. Same way your chest is facing.
Okay.
So.
All right. Just, yeah. Okay.
That way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So lie down. Your belly is on the floor. Arms are forward. Forehead resting. We're preparing for Shalabhasana. Take your sacrum down. Sacrum. Your pubic bone is what is where the contact is, but the action I want to come from the back. Take the sacrum down. And then we want to create length. So lift your right arm up, lift your left leg up, just an inch or so. It's not about how high it goes. It's about now how much you lengthen it. So extend from your right fingertips, move them away and extend your left toes away and make more length there. And it's not about the height, it's about the length right now. So right hand up, left leg up, and you're extending, and the line goes right through the sacrum. And then keep that length. Yep, yeah, good. And then keep that length, and then place them down. Place them down. So your right hand is a little in front of your left hand now, and your left foot is a little further back from your right foot now. And now the opposite sides, left hand, right foot. Lift it about an inch. But extend. Right, there's a line that draws right through the sacrum. And keep that length. And then place them down. So now your left hands, or both your hands and both your feet are even because you've lengthened them both. Now you're going to do both legs, but you're still making that X. So you're not extending the left foot from the left hand. It's still left hand to right foot, right hand to left foot. Lift both arms and legs. And extend them away from each other, making that X. And then keep that length. And then place them down. Now we're going to move closer to the pose. Take your hands by your hips with your palms up. We're going to do it in stages. Many of you have done it with me like this before. I do like working this pose in stages. By your hips, Carla. There you go. Yep, that one. Forehead is still resting. Now turn your thighs in. right? Turn your thighs in so the face of your knees face the floor. Take your sacrum down again. The pubic bone presses, but take the sacrum down. And then lift both legs up. From the inner, don't just lift the feet, lift the legs. That means from the inner thighs, lift your legs up. And now try and move your legs towards the back wall. So from your inner thighs, the legs come up and extend through the back wall. Now there's the lengthening. As you lift a long time, take your legs down. This pose gets tiring. We're going to do it again now. For those that hate this pose, you're not alone, by the way. But we're doing it anyway. You can let your legs down, George. Let your legs down. I know. Well, if you need to, you're breathing into the mat. If you need to, if you want to take it off while you're face down towards your mat, you can. Okay. Hands are by your hips. Sacrum down. Sacrum down. Inner thighs up. Inner thighs up. Legs up. Legs up. Inner thighs. From the inner thighs. Hopefully you turn your thighs in. I don't know if I said that. Turn the thighs in. Now lengthen the inner legs. And it's the same action of lengthening those inner thighs, right? The whole inner groin lengthens and extends then out through the big toe. And there even is a drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips. And that makes them longer. And then take them down. Take them down, George. All right, now we're going to work the torso. So sacrum down, which means the pubic bone presses. Do turn your thighs in anyway, even though we're just doing the torso alone now. Lift your hands up above your hips, and then push your arms back to lift your shoulders, lift your chest, and lift your head. So the hands go up, and then you're moving them back, trying to reach your hands to your feet. The shoulders come up, the chest comes up, and eventually the head comes up. Bring the shoulder blades into the body. Your abdomen is working. Draw your abdomen towards your spine and lift your abdomen up towards your chest. And then exhale, come down. Now, how do we get a little bit more out of the arms? How do we help that? Extend from the armpits through the inner elbow, through the whole inner arm, and draw from the outer elbow to the shoulder, and see what effect that may have. So turn your thighs in. We're not going to totally work the legs, but we want to get that action. Press the sacrum down, and then lift the arms up, and then push your arms back to peel your shoulders up, your chest, then your head. Shoulder blades move into the body. Abdomen moves towards your spine and up into your chest. Lift your hands up higher, George, if you can. Now, there you go, George. Now lengthen through those inner arms, all the way through the inner hand. Draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Hands higher, Carla. Higher. Hands, hands, hands. Manos, manos. See. Push those hands back. Exhale, come down. Come on down, George. Come down. How's everyone doing so far? Ready for class to be done? Don't worry, 3 more hours left and then we're done. All right. Are we ready to put them together? Sacrum down. Turn the thighs in so the kneecaps are down. Sacrum down. Lift your arms, lift your legs. From the inner thighs, lift your legs. Push your legs back, push your arms back. Shoulder blades into the body. Shoulder blades into the body. Abdomen in and up. Push your legs back, push your arms back. Exhale, come down. How many more times do we want? 10? 12? 18? Turn your thighs in. Sacrum down. Lift your arms and legs. Inner thighs lifting. Inner thighs lifting. Sacrum down. Now, Extend your legs back, extend your arms back. Lengthen through the inner thighs, lengthen through the inner arms. Draw from your outer knees to your outer hips, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. Abdomen in and up, shoulder blades in. And keep the extension of the inner arms, keep the working of the outer legs. And just take one breath to observe your pose. And come down. And you said one more, Bob? Okay, one more. It's okay. As soon as we do the next pose, you are going to pray that you were doing this pose again. Maybe. I don't know. Some of you might not like the next pose better. We'll see. Sacrum, turn the thighs in. Sacrum down. Sacrum down. And then from the inner thighs, lift the legs, lift the arms, extend through the inner thighs, draw from your outer knees to your outer hips, extend through the inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. The arms peel the shoulders up, the chest, then the head. Move your legs back, move your arms back. Imagine there's a 10-pound weight on each of your hands. Push that weight up, push your arms back, shoulder blades in, abdomen in and up. Imagine it's your favorite pose now. And come out.
Can we do that again?
Bob just asked if we could do it again. All right, so here's what we're going to do now. Watch for a moment. We're going to do Dhanurasana. So some of you are going to like it less because it gets into the knees more. Some of you might like it more because holding onto your legs gives you a little bit more stability. So you can decide. Well, you'll start with your arms forward, head resting. And this time you'll bend your legs up. And then you inhale, on your exhalation, really reach out and seek to grab your ankles. Now, sometimes you have to grab one ankle before the other. If you do that, next time, just grab the opposite ankle first. If you can't get your ankles, then take a strap and somehow, and I can come and help you, George, but you get that strap somehow not tangled around your feet. That's a little tangled. You get it around your feet. There we go. And you just reach there. Okay? And from there, you're still going to lift from the inner thighs. So your feet get pushed up. You don't pull your feet up, but your feet get pushed up because your thighs are pushing up. Your sacrum's still pushing down. And you push up and back with your legs, up and back with your arms. Of course, shoulder blades will still go into the body. All right, clear? Bend your legs. Arms in front first, extend those arms. Inhale, on your exhalation, reach back, get around those ankles. If you can get it at the same time, great. If you need to do one before the other, I get it. Don't think I never did that. Now, sacrum down, really, sacrum down. From your thighs, push your legs up. Push your legs up. Push your legs up. Higher, higher, higher. Higher, higher, higher. Higher, higher, higher. Because I can't walk around the room and pull them up. In a couple months, I will, I promise you. Lift them up. Push them back. Push them back. Abdomen in and up, shoulder blades in. And then come down. I know, we didn't know it was going to be that kind of a day, did we? How many of these are we doing, Bob? First one's for the body. Second one's for the mind. Bend your legs. Take hold of your ankles. Sweep your arms back. Take hold of those ankles. Sacrum down. Try to keep the knees a little closer together, Bob, if that's accessible. Sacrum down. Lift your legs. Lift your arms. Abdomen in and up, that will help you. Shoulder blades in, that will help you. Now, use your legs, lift them up and push them back. But now use your arms, lift them up, push your legs back with your arms. Extend through your inner arms, draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders. Abdomen in and up, soft face. Imagine you love this. Exhale, come down. So first one's for the body. Second one's for the mind. Third one for the soul. Arms forward. Bend your legs. Sweep your arms back. Sacrum down. Legs up. Legs up, arms up. Legs up, arms up. Legs up, arms up. Legs up, arms up. Push those legs back. Use your arms to push the feet up and back. Shoulder blades into the body. Abdomen in and up. Imagine it's your favorite pose. Exhale, come down.
Once more.
All right, Bob says once more. Why not? That means you can do your body, mind, and soul at the same time. Spread the awareness. Bend your legs. Inhale. Exhale. Take hold of your ankles. This is it. Last one. I promise. Well, I promise for now. I could change my mind. Sacrum down. Sacrum down. Now lift the legs. Lift the arms. Use those arms. Peel your shoulders up. Peel your chest up. Lift your legs with your legs. Push your legs back. Lift your legs with your arms. Push your legs back with your arms. Lengthen through the inner legs, lengthen through the inner arms. Outer knees to outer hips, outer elbows to shoulders. This is it. For the body, mind, and soul. Spread the awareness. Exhale, come down. Turn your toes under, downward facing dog. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone. Press your thighs back. Use your abdomen here. Still lifting through the legs. Lengthen through the inner legs. Lift the outer and front legs. Lengthen through the inner arms. Lengthen the inner arms, inner legs. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, outer elbows to the shoulders. Spread the awareness to each of your limbs equally. Let the skull release. And then bend your legs. Let your knees touch the floor at precisely the same moment. Child's pose. Come out, Carla. Knees down. Feet together, knees apart. Rest the skull, extend the arms forward. Sit bones on your heels. Lengthen. Lengthen through the side ribs. Now, take your right arm towards the right, and then take your left hand and meet your right hand, take your left hand and place it either close to or on top of your right hand. And if your forehead hits the floor, that's great. If not, it can be suspended. So we're lengthening the left side of the body right now. And extend from that left hip through the left arm. Really reach with your left arm. Reach with your left arm. Try and get your left arm, your left hand forward of your right hand. I don't care if it goes there, but that's where the direction is, so that you really get that length through the left side of the body. And then come back to center. So center yourself here. And then take your left hand off to the side. And then walk your right hand
either close to or on top of your left hand, but then reach that right hand forward. Keep your right hip, your right sit bone onto your right heel and extend through those right fingertips. Coming to center. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up. Back. Legs bent, feet on the floor, arms out to the sides. Bend your legs into your chest. Keep the thighs together. Inhale, on your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow. Knees towards your right elbow. Thighs together. That means the right thigh needs to push into the left thigh. Take that. Keep the left shoulder down. So you can press into the right shoulder to keep the left shoulder down. Then take your left hip away from your left shoulder. And inhale, come up. Take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. And then the other side, bend your legs back into your chest, extend through your right fingertips, take your knees towards your left elbow. Again, keeping the thighs together. That means the left thigh pushes into the right thigh. Hover it over your left shoulder. Left elbow. Keep the right shoulder down. If you press into the left shoulder, the right shoulder is more likely to stay down. Take your right outer hip away from your right shoulder. Push with the lower leg. Inhale, come up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Now we're going to do the same pose, but we're going to go back and forth more quickly. Instead of holding, we're going to go back and forth with the breath. So inhale, on your exhalation, knees go towards your right elbow. Then your next inhalation, take your legs back up. On your exhalation, left elbow. Inhale, center. Exhale, right elbow. Pace of your breath, not mine. Keep the thighs together the whole time. Inhaling back up, exhaling to whatever side you're going to now, right? Everyone's doing it differently. It's the pace of your breath. So the inhalation is to center, exhalation is to the other side, thighs keeping together. Remember, when you go to the side, that opposite side has to work too. When you take your knees to the left, that left shoulder needs to go down so the right shoulder stays down. That when you go to the right, the left hip moves away from your left shoulder. Right? So see if you can maintain some of these actions that we do in the slower holding version as you take it into the moving version. And then when you've finished both sides, when you're even on the sides, come back to center, take your feet on the floor. And then bend your legs back into your chest. So sometimes when we do back bends, we tend to take into the back. So we're doing a few things to help clear the back. So hold around your right shin only, or behind your right knee is fine. And straighten your leg just 2-3 inches above the floor. Left leg now, straighten above the floor. Turn the thigh in so the toes point up. And from the center of your thigh, or from the center of the inner thigh, take the whole leg down to the floor so the heel touches. Keep drawing your right thigh towards your chest. Take the right outer hip away from your right shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal. There's still a lengthening of the inner groins. And as you draw your right thigh towards your torso, extend through the inner left leg. And bend your left leg into your chest next to your right. Hold both legs for a moment, and then hold over the left shin. Draw the left thigh down. Straighten the right leg just 2-3 inches above the mat. Turn the thigh in first. And then from the upper inner thigh, take your leg down towards the floor, down to the floor. Keep the thigh, left thigh, coming down as you take the right leg down. Take the left outer hip away from your left shoulder, so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. And as you descend the left thigh, extend through the inner right leg. Both groins still lengthening. Abdomen soft. Soft shoulders, soft face. And bend your right leg in next to your left leg, both legs into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug here. Take your hands on the face of your knees. Inhale, allow your thighs to move away from you. Exhale, draw the thighs back towards you. Hands stay on your knees the whole time. Inhaling, legs moving away. Exhaling, legs move back towards you. Let's take a few breaths like this, a massaging of the abdomen, a massaging of the lower back. On your next inhalation, let your feet come to the floor. Take your hands to the top of the buttocks, scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards your heels. You're not doing a pelvic tilt, you're just moving the flesh of the buttocks towards your heels. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let your legs fall out to the side. Take your arms comfortably out to the sides. I like about 30-degree angles from the body, but it might be slightly different for you. And let go. Let go. Let your arms and legs completely let go and release. Let the whole torso release and let go. We were doing back bends today. We were working the spine. Can you let each individual vertebrae, from the base of the spine to the top of the spine, let go? The muscles surrounding the vertebrae, allow them to release now. They worked hard. Let them go. The front of the body was extending. Can you let the whole front of the body release and let go? Soften your throat. Soften all of your facial features. Should begin to feel as if the skin, the flesh is melting off of your face, just melting away. Draw your ears inward and listen to the breath from the inside of your body. Remember, you don't need to breathe. The breath will breathe you. Let go everything, hold nothing. Become a witness for the breath. Shavasana.
with soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart.
Take your hands onto your abdomen or your chest. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right. If you want to roll to the left, do the opposite. Extend your left arm, roll to the left. Rest your ear into your upper arm. When you feel ready, take your top hand on the floor in front of your heart, turn your torso, push to come up. Come up to sitting, cross your legs the opposite way. As you did at the beginning of class, bring your palms together, thumbs at your chest. Dry your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up, observing your practice. What's different? What's changed? Remember to take your practice with you outside of this room into the rest of your day, your evening, into all of your interactions with other people, with kindness and compassion. Kindness and compassion for others, and most importantly, kindness and compassion for yourself. Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for everybody here. Thank you, everybody at home.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome. Very welcome.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
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 Thank you,
Thank
Jonathan.
you.